on that subject. Here, we've got no background at all, almost as though we're in a photo studio. There is no light. We have nothing behind us, just a bright background. Here, we sort of have a full body shot. The other two are quite up close. Here we're kind of far away. We've got a full body shot, but still a soft background. It's like that's gonna keep happening. Now, in just a few moments, I'm gonna switch on over to a phone, and we're gonna take a look at how you can take photos just like that.
Go ahead and tap right there. I just realized I set up your phone in Spanish, didn't I? Yes. Yes. Did you want your phone in Spanish?
So now here, I've got my phone up on the screen, and of course, if I'm gonna take photos, I'm gonna open up my camera. So I've got that camera open, I'm gonna face it towards my buddy Aaron, and right now you're gonna notice that I'm on a mode that says photo right over here. Now of course, if I wanna take a portrait photo, I need to tap on where it reads portrait on the bottom of the screen. So using my finger, I'll simply tap on portrait to open up my portrait mode. Before I take a portrait mode photo, I'll take a standard photo. So I'll go into regular photo, I'll zoom in using this camera lens over here, take a picture of my buddy Aaron, just like that. Now I'll switch over to portrait, and I'll take a photo with this as well. So I'm actually going to walk a little bit closer up to him, and let's take a look at that photo. So now I want you to notice what portrait mode does to the backdrop of that picture, right? You'll notice that here, the backdrop has been entirely soft and focused, whereas in the standard camera mode, you're not going to get that kind of illusion because the camera will place equal focus everywhere. Whereas portrait mode, again, is going to really make sure that focuses on only what's up close. Now what's also really quite fun to play with are all the different filters, all the different lighting options that are available. So I want everyone to observe that on the bottom of the preview window here, you're going to see a lot of little circles. Now those little circles, if I put my finger on it and I give it a tap, that's going to let me actually swap in between different lighting options. So you go studio where it brightens the front. Contour, those are the shadows on them become quite a bit darker. Stage light eliminates the background behind it, making it black. Notice how when he turns around, do that Aaron, when it does not see a face, it's not gonna work. So if we turn around, that's not gonna work, but when I look back, look at that a second, boom, it's gonna work. Now I'm gonna swap over to the very last option, high key light mono. Let's take that photo. I'm actually gonna go a little bit closer to you, buddy. All right, so in 3, 2, 1, boom. And let's take a look at the resulting photo here. You'll notice that again, people go to studios and pay hourly fees to get a photo like this, where you have no background behind you. And let's say you go outside and you don't like what your background looks like. That's what a feature like this is for, right? So once again, if you have an iPhone 7 Plus, an iPhone 8 Plus, an iPhone 10 series or 11 series, you're gonna have this feature, and of course you're gonna want to use it. Right, you got all those 3 cameras back there for a reason. Let's switch on back. So we're gonna take a look at what those steps were, once again, for taking the photo. So of course, let's go ahead, let's give that a click real quick, Aaron. Now, of course, whenever you're taking a photo, you're gonna swipe to portrait mode. Then afterward, you're gonna select a portrait lighting effect, right? Those were those little circles over at the very bottom of the screen. Afterward, you would tap on that white shutter button to take your photo. So now, let's go ahead, let's segue on over. We're gonna go over panoramas. So this is an example of a panoramic image. A panoramic image is wide, extremely wide, and captures a lot of information. So how do we do that? Let's take a look. You've seen how you can switch between different camera modes, and that makes the camera work slightly differently. So, of course, you have the photo mode, you have the portrait mode, and then we have pano. So you'd want to switch over to panoramic mode. Then afterward, to begin taking the photo, you are going to tap the shutter button. Now, once you tap on that shutter button, you'll notice that it turns into a stop sign. That's how you know that you've begun taking a panoramic image. You're going to notice that here, in the center of the screen, you have this gray rectangle. Now, as you move your iPhone from left to right, what's going to happen is that that rectangle will begin to fill up, meaning that when I begin taking that photo and move my camera from left to right, it's going to begin taking many pictures and stitching them together. When you tap that stop sign that appears, you're going to have a completed panoramic photo. So now, let's take a look at what that looks like on our phones. So, once again, I'm going to open up my camera right over here, and I'm going to tap on Pano. You'll notice that right now I'm on Portrait. So when I tap on Pano over here, you'll notice that now I have that little gray rectangle, the small preview of what's going on. When I want to begin taking the photo, I'll tap on that little white button right over here. I'm going to start from my left, and I'm going to begin taking this photo. So notice that now as I'm moving my camera, that rectangle in the center begins to fill with all the information that it captures as I'm moving from left to right. And then once I'm done, I can go and I can press that stop button. So take a look at the resulting picture. You'll see that the resulting picture is extremely wide. It captures a lot of what's going on. So of course, that's working because what's going on is as you move that camera from left to right, all the new information that it sees, it puts it together, kind of like it's sewing a blanket of many different photos. So now, let's talk about a really cool trick that you can do with this. Again, the idea behind the panoramic photo is that it's many separate pictures put together. So now I have my buddy Aaron, he's starting here on another side. Now you notice that when I took the panoramic photo, I had to move from left to right. However, if I tap on the little rectangle over here, I'm able to swap the direction from right to left. Sorry? Okay. So now, let's try this out. Now I'm going to begin, I'm going to take a photo of my buddy Aaron, and now I'm going to move the camera until I do not see him anymore. Aaron, go ahead, move in front. Nice, now I'm going to keep going until I don't see him, and Aaron, one more time. And I'll just stop it right over there. So when we take a look at the resulting photo, you're going to see that Aaron shows up 3 times in the same image, right? And that's because, again, I had him move while I stopped. So I took the camera, positioned it at him, then I moved until I couldn't see him anymore, had him go ahead, kept on moving, then I had him go ahead, then I kept on moving. So you can have a lot of fun with the panoramic mode because you're able to introduce the same person multiple times in a scene. That's going to take quite a bit of practice. I can't guarantee that you might get it on the first try, but of course that's what one more bit. Now here, this is something called a QR code. In case you've never seen any of these, you might see them all over the train station on advertisements. These little codes, the way they work is that these contain information typically about a website. If you take your camera and hold up your camera to this code, you're going to get a small little pop-up on your screen telling you that, hey, this is trying to take you to the website. Now in this case, this shows you how you can sign up for more of our classes. So if you learned something today, chances are you're going to learn something from all of the classes that we offer that are all absolutely free. Now here, if you scan that code, that's going to take you to today@apple.com, specifically our photography class section. Now in just a few moments, my buddy Aaron is going to be getting